I've been around for a long time. I've seen a lot of examples of futility. Spitting into the wind, hurting cats, beating a dead horse. But none of them compare to the futility of getting into a nerd fight with an SCP Wiki Administrator. Let me tell you something, you can't afford to get into a nerd fight with an SCP Wiki Administrator. It's like wrestling in the mud with a pig. After a few hours, you realize the pig enjoys it. Good lord, it's late. How you doing? This is the June 8th, if I can get it out in time, episode of SCP Cafe. I'm your host, Blue Soul, and today we're going to be trying out a new honorific SCP Wiki Administrator, Chat Administrator, Author, Loving Husband, Dog Petter, Cologne Aficionado, Tottenham Hotspur Supporter, Scuttle Overlord, Wikidork Commander. Man alive, it has been a weird, long few days. We're going to talk about Wikidork first. I have been working on this fork of Wikidot, and I was trying to think of a name for it, and I had Wikifork, and I went to type that out, and it came out Wikidork. So I registered wikidork.com, and I'm working there on the next iteration of the Wikidot platform. Today, I had a tremendous success in getting just a little bit further to us being fully independent on the SCP Wiki. I wrote my first module, which for lack of want of getting into the weeds, modules are at the heart of Wikidot. Some of the really common ones you'll see are things like list pages, module CSS, module rate. Every page has module rate, just about. So some of those were in my copy of the code, but module CSS was absent, and this is like a showstopper, right? Like, we've got to be able to have CSS on these pages, but getting into like how you make one of these modules is like AIS Mallard, one of my compatriots on the technical team, described the business of working with the Wikidot code base as incredible. He described it as whacking dense vines as you're voyaging through a jungle. I've been working with it a lot as of late, and I can't even find it in me to be that kind about it. It does a few things well, and I feel like for the most part that is in spite of itself. I feel like I never should have started this project, because I'm realizing like how, like, yes, everything works, but that's because nobody has asked loudly enough for change ever, because making changes in this thing is, at least right now, really difficult. But I got module CSS working. It didn't even exist in this version, and as of this evening, it works. It displays CSS. It's not the prettiest thing ever. I also mentioned it's kind of ugly, but it gets the job done. It truly is my creation. So, I've had a celebratory drink. I am really excited with how this project is going. I feel like the team is getting excited too, and we've got a lot to look forward to. You know, this was just this proof of concept of like, hey, you know, this isn't set in stone. We can go create things that we need, and it's actually going to work. It's really exciting. It's exciting for everyone. So Wikidork is not currently named as such on GitHub. It is still under the SCP Wiki org. The repo is still called Wikidot. please, by all means, join me on this excruciating journey. I am happy to get people onboarded if they want to learn this code base and try and help out. I would take all the help that we can get at this stage of things. So that said, it's not a great starter project if you're wanting to get into the actual PHP side of it, but I can use help in all sorts of things, just adjusting source code, the comments and stuff. If you've been around the site, you've seen oddly worded things in menus here and there. So one of the things that I was mentioning with one of the tech staffers is that the code, all of the weird kind of broken English is prevalent, and there's this winking smiley face that is the sort of the logo for Wikidot, and we've kind of started using it ironically, and we've kind of been doing that for a long time. So we were mentioning that in the context of if you see one of those winking smiley faces in a text string somewhere that's getting thrown back to the user, nuke it from orbit. So we did kind of a text search for that particular winking smiley face. We got 70 fucking results in the code. Please help. I could really use your help. Once again, that is github.com/scpwiki/wikidot. Now on to the other big news. Well, depending on your point of view. For me, it was rather large news, sizable, hefty lad of newsworthiness. Promotions have begun, and I found out a few days ago that I was being nominated for the position of administrator of the SCP Wiki. There are 7 voting members on this promotion, and it was unanimous as of a couple hours ago. So I have been promoted to administrator of the SCP Foundation Wiki. This is, it's a lot, man. I've been fairly outspoken to staff, to other administrators, that this is something that I wanted. I wanted to be in this position, not necessarily for the additional quote-unquote power, because I'm going to be real with you, there's not much of any. What do you get for being an admin? Well, you can ban people, you can remove their membership, and in exchange for those 2 powers, and you can adjust the styling of the site, and in exchange for those 3 things, you get a constant flood of membership applications. I'm considering doing a daily count of what my inbox is at for applications to give you some idea of what that daily flow is like. But it's already started, as you could possibly tell by the cover art today. You have an entirely new set of meetings to attend. I've already been doing some of them by virtue of being a vice captain of the technical team. That didn't even get mentioned. I was on Friday night, after the recording of my show on the 5th. I wasn't really in any mood to discuss it because it didn't fit the tone of that particular episode, but I was promoted to co-captain of tech. This puts myself and Dr. Magnus on equal footing, and this was his idea, and I really appreciate the gesture. This, in the day-to-day, again, doesn't mean a whole lot. Magnus and I see eye to eye on basically everything with regards to the technical side of the wiki. He trusts me where it's, where it makes sense to do so, and I trust him where it makes sense to do so. We have full confidence in the abilities of the other, and this makes a lot of sense. I'm glad that he thought of it. It didn't even really occur to me. So to have that happen was really cool. And then to see, the promotion thread go up and I was kind of surprised. There was already like 3 or 4 votes in, and I got a message saying, "Hey, have you checked 05?" Nah, not in a few hours. I was doing weekend shit with my wife. Took a look and like, oh, okay. So here we are, 2 days later. The votes are in. They were unanimous. And there's a lot to do now. There are some things I've had sort of on the back burner, ideas I've had tossing around in my head that didn't make any sense to pick up until I was at that level. I'm hoping I can make some things happen with regards to the technical organization of things. And this is not as serious as all that sounds. I'm talking about things like email, having email work at the actual scp-wiki.net, having that be done where admins and captains can receive email on behalf of their teams, stuff like that. It's not something I can really move to do as a moderator because I don't have that level of pull, I suppose, to make that really make sense from that perspective. So it's cool. I'm excited. I'm a little nervous because this is like the whole deal with applications. I'm gonna try and make some software to make applications easier. Try and put to bed the decline bug that's been going on for a long time. And this is something that we see in Site 17 a lot, where people will complain, "Hey, I did everything right on my application. I put in my age, I put in the passcode, I did everything that was requested, and it was declined anyway." And there is a log kept, like, hey, this person was declined. And if it's not there, we're kind of like, what the hell? Why'd this person get declined? Well, I dug through the source of the Wikidot, the old GitHub, and tried to figure out what might cause that. And as far as I can tell, in the default state for an application is to be declined. If there is any sort of weirdness with the application or the submission of the decision made on the application, it defaults to a rejection. I don't know why. I don't know why it was designed quite the way it was, but I could say that about a lot of things in this code base. So it's something I think I know how to resolve, but it has to be done with sort of third-party software. I can't do it in Wikidot directly. I've got to move outside of it. So I have a little project there to make that easier. And if that works, I'm going to kind of pass that around with the other international wiki admins and let them use it as well. Those that use it, not everybody does applications. A few do. I've been an administrator on the Czech wiki for quite a few months, and they do it, but one like the Russian wiki doesn't. They do basically an invite system. It's a different sort of thing, and but for the ones that do, I think this will be a big help. And right now, the software is not all that developed. You hit log in, and it takes you to a picture of a bear. It's a start. I'm not real good at C#. I've done one program in it a long time ago, and it wasn't very good. So this is a good learning opportunity, and it's a cool bear, so I might leave the bear in. We'll see. Maybe an Easter egg. Every 1,000th user is a bear. Not actually talking about any skips tonight. It's super, super late. I have a very an early start tomorrow, and I haven't been able to do any reading today. I've been just locked in on this Wikidork thing and this other admin software thing, and I just completely let the day get away from me. So I'm going to try and jump back on that tomorrow. Probably do a nerd stuff episode on Wikidot on lessons learned so far sometime in the next day or two as well. With that, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to get to bed. It's 11:15. This will go out on the 8th, hell or high water. Thank you guys, and thank you for those that have already reached out to me on my promotion. I'm going to do my best not to let you guys down. Until tomorrow, keep reading, keep writing, and goodbye, fellow kids.